Okay. And hello. I'm back for my first stream of the new year. Well, not my first stream of the new year, my first art stream of the new year, finally, because this last week I've been sick with a head cold. And I probably still sound a little, like, I think I'm all the way better now. I probably still sound a little bit cruddy, and I'm probably going to be drinking a lot of water still, because my throat is, like, not sore, but kind of slightly off. So probably still a lot of water drinking, so watch out for that. But I think I'm about past the head cold now. But that was not a fun way to start the year for a couple of reasons. But yes, finally we are back to drawings on Sunday morning. Hello, thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing well. This is something I wanted to do for a bit. I'm finally catching up on a few, like, doodles from asks kind of thing with Eldritchrune characters. So we're doing some of those, plus some character cards. So a little bit different from the usual, but still fun. You just woke up? That's okay. It's early mornings. It's a tough time to wake up. And I was up late trying to watch the end of the AGDQ marathon, because I love that a lot. But I didn't quite make it all the way through to the end of Pokemon Emerald. I saw one of the last ones, and oh my goodness, 30 months! Thank you! That's so long! I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And thank you for coming. We enjoy Susie being a silly. But yes, good morning. It is cold and rainy out today here. Well, that's a bit of a problem. But that's also not shocking. It's January. It tends to be cold and rainy. Yay, Susie art. If I could, I would just draw Susie all the time. Sorry, I'm not sick of her yet. I never will be. You're my favorite. We love drawing our Susies. Even when she has ridiculously long hairs and is being a doof. Yep, usually the more you draw something, the better you'll get at it. It's true for pretty much anything. And that's the point of practice. Repetition helps. Yes, it does help to have ideas first. And I draw her a lot because I have a lot of ideas for her. Whereas somebody told me to, like, can you draw Spamton? I'm like, yeah, sure I can, but I don't do it much because I don't really have any ideas for Spamton. Other people got ideas. But I am not one of those people. I only draw what I've got ideas for. Unless somebody else told me what to do. Yeah, definitely Susie feels like she'd have a Tinkaton. Big hammer. Oh yeah, Tinkaton's hammer is like weird and doesn't make sense. It's all funky. I do enjoy me a Tinkaton though. I think I had it as part of my party for Violet. Fairy Steel, usually a pretty good combo. Yep, that's why we gotta have references, and even then, references on Tinkaton's hammer is like, okay, how is this working together? I know it works in 3D space, but a little bit funky. Here, Susie caught her own tail. What will she do with it? Don't know. But she got it. If you have a pet, can they catch their own tail? And if so, what would they do with it? I guess technically speaking, Alfie's can catch her own tail, but she doesn't want to. Yep, Susie's axe is just an axe. Chris's sword, basic sword. None of them really have like elaborate weapons. Hero sword, hero axe, hero scarf. Oh. It'd be cool if they could have like, you know, whatever equipment you have is also reflected in the overworld sprite or the battle sprite, but I can see why they wouldn't do that. That might be a bit difficult. A lot extra work. Yep, certain series have a lot more complicated weapons. Just depends on the art direction. Designing props in general is hard. Same with like me in costumes, at least. Costume design, I always feel like a bit of a blind spot for me, but that's also probably because, like, you know, most of what I do is storyboarding, where an elaborate costume is not a plus, not a help. Chris is like, what are you doing? Alright, this will be showing up more. Finally had to design Miss Mizzle. Like a watery siren. You're doing... Oops, its head's not lopsided. Yeah. And it does help. It's like, okay, if you're designing a character, it does help to know what medium they're intended for. Characters that can do things in written fiction may not be able to do them in a movie, may not be able to do them in an animated movie, may not be able to do them in a TV animated thing, may not be able to do them in a video game, and all the other stuff to consider. I think we'll do lines first, and then I'll go back and shade, because I've got like basically a bunch of these guys on like separate layers. And then I'll just chop them all up and post them separately when I'm ready to do so. Like there's like an added difficulty in making this like watery but not slimy. And watery skeletal stuff not necessarily going together. But we're doing our best. That's what we got. Yes. I had to do the design because I'm still working on the comic for that, which is ongoing. I started character roughs for it, but I have not finished them, so we're not doing that yet. I'm like, okay, I got a designer somehow, so. It's like a watery wraith. Actually, just water elemental. It's very wet. Appropriate for the rain outside because it's very wet. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember the Banshee from Gargoyles. I should know this because I know Gargoyles. I can't remember what the Banshee looked like. Except for, you know, probably traditional Banshee. Then again, it's probably from the World Tour season, which not necessarily my favorite seasons. I was like, they did a lot of interesting things they couldn't have otherwise, but I was very much, when are they gonna get to the fireworks factory about it? Yeah. I just want to get home already. But what can you do? Love the first season and the first half of the second season, though. Still think they hold up very well. Yeah, some of the episodes were good. It was an opportunity to try a lot of different stuff, and like, anytime you try and, you know, branch out and try new things, some of it works and some of it doesn't. Like, there are some things like, oh, that's a really weird, neat idea. And there's some things that's like, oh, that's a little cringe. Most of the things that were cringe, they were like, we're going to incorporate this, you know, sacred stuff from another culture that we don't know very much about. It's like, I admire that, but maybe consult some people on that. Yeah, I remember the Japanese gargoyle clan. I like the British gargoyles, they were fun too. Apparently they were considering doing a crossover with the Atlantis the Lost Empire TV series if that ever took off, but it did not, so that did not happen. I've never seen those episodes, so I don't know how they are. I've just heard that they are bad. Yeah. Well, I think my music might be a little loud because my guy is yelling through them. He's still yelling through them. Alright, I'm going to turn down my... There we go. That should do it. Yeah, there was going to be a TV series, and so if you see like the, you know, Return from Atlantis movie, quote unquote, that was basically, we wanted to do a TV series and that didn't happen, so we put the first 3 pilot episodes together and called that a movie, even though that's not how that works. But yeah, I heard there was going to be a Gargoyles crossover, and that did not happen for obvious reasons. Which would be kind of funny because, like, the gargoyles in that are pretty different. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. It's good morning where I am, but it's good evening where you are, I assume. It is like 9:14 in the morning. That's okay, because I'm a morning person. But thank you for coming. Oh my goodness, a raid! Hello, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. Yep, that's the magic of time zones. Today I'm doing some stuff. I know, from another Lynx. From one Lynx to another Lynx. Hello. Ooh, you're in like Europe time zones. Hello, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for the raid. Lynxes unite. I am working on some doodle stuff from my Eldritchrune AU, if that is what interests you. Usually I do comics for it, but today we're just doing some random doodles and character art and all that goodness. Alright, I've done that for one thing. Alright, we'll come back to that in a second. I guess we have the mics. We can do stuff with the mics. More Lynxes everywhere. Oh, thank you for the raid. And also, again, sorry if my voice sounds a little scratchy. I had a head cold this past week and I'm about over it. But still got a little bit of that blick in the throat. People have been asking for the mics and I'm like, they're just 3 minion guys. I guess this one would have to be green while the others are red because it's green pippins. That's the name of the mini game. Finish, yes. Do art all over the place. And also for new raiders, hello, welcome in. I'm Lynx Griffin. I usually do art streams on Sunday mornings like I'm doing now, or I play games on Friday nights. And the most recent game I was doing, I guess technically not a game, but close enough, was Soul of Sovereignty. And I didn't do it this last weekend, one, because still recovering a bit from sickness, and Soul of Sovereignty is a lot of talking because it's a visual novel. And two, it was also AGDQ, and I love that, so I'm like, okay, I will not push myself for that. But I mostly do a lot of Undertale Deltarune related stuff. Like the game I finished before Soul of Sovereignty was off. We also did Mother 3. I'm trying to decide what to do next. I'll probably do a fan game like Outer Tale. But a lot of the drawing stuff is from my AU, which takes a lot of work. But that's all good. I'm always doing my favorite part, which is line art. I like the line art. That's like the relaxing part for me. Yes, thank you for being here. Or for just popping by. Project Spacetime? I don't know that. Oh, just the finished Outer Tale game? Is there a different one? Yeah, everybody's got their favorite part of art, and for me it's the line art. That's the part that's my fun stuff. That's where, like, okay, I've done the thinking, now I can relax. I don't know if there's a separate Outer Tale one, but I mean like the one that came out a while ago. I never quite got to it. I have played Undertale Yellow, but I have not played some other fan games. So I'm like, I promised I would. I need to do that. Okay, PS Outer Tale, that's it? Okay, and it's the one that came out a while back. That's the one I intend to do. It's gotta actually get to it. Yeah, for me, I feel like coloring is always a tough part for me because I just haven't practiced it as much. I need to practice it more. I have been doing some more coloring or just art with watercolors recently, and that's been nice. I gotta do that more, actually. But yeah, I was also kind of holding off on doing, let's see, some other fan games like TS Underswap and stuff like that, or Delta Travel, because I wanted to wait till they finished. But I'm guessing they might not finish for a while, so I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I should just at least try what's been done so far. Oh, that is nice. Makes me want to do stuff with gel pens like I used to have when I was younger. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Is it getting fully revamped? I thought it was kind of going on hiatus because Violet Bunny was pretty busy with a lot of other things. I think Violet Bunny was going to help on TS Underswap too. Huh, maybe I should just wait till it gets revamped then. Making games is hard. I haven't even made one because a few times I've tried to dabble in programming. I'm like, I wish I could do programming, but it's hard. I would need help with so many things. Oh, okay. I see, I see. That's a lot to redo. Oh yeah, certain cameos. I see, I see. That's probably the case, yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of like learning another language. I did do like some tutorials for like Game Maker back in the day. I was just trying it out. I'm like, okay, I think I can understand this, but my main problem is like, I don't know, like if there's any kind of you know, problem with programming, I'm really I kind of freak out and I'm not very good at like troubleshooting how to solve it. I'm like, just tell me how to solve it, please. You'd figure I should be able to do that kind of thing, but I don't know. Like even when I was doing like, you know, more 3D modeling stuff, if it's something where like, okay, I can just like shape this myself, I can solve that. But if it was like a texturing problem or anything like that, something where I'd have to mess with numbers, I'm like, ugh. Yeah, exactly. It's the kind of thing that's like, okay, if I spent time working on it, sure, I could probably get the hang of it. The time for it is the is the hard part. That's the part where I don't have much time to dedicate to it. Yeah, at least from what I saw of Outer Tail, like it looked fun. It looked like it looked like, I know that they do a much more expanded like perfect pacifist ending, which, you know, could be interesting and fun, especially since I don't usually play I don't do genocide routes. I have never done them for Undertale or Eldritchrune. I don't do them for fan games. They just don't interest me, but, you know, neutral and pacifist routes, those are always fun to explore. Yeah, overall it did look fun. So, give that a try. And again, I'll probably bounce around between various fan games and other things I need to tackle, of which there are always a bajillion. Like some people in Discord reminding me, you should play Half-Life, and I'm like, oh, I did download Half-Life at some point, didn't I? I've never played that. I think there's like a time when they had like Half-Life and Half-Life 2 as like a bundle for $1, and I'm like, well, sure, I'll spend $1 on that, and now it's just kind of sitting in my Steam, sitting there. There's so many things to try and not enough time. Made the game so you can make the expanded pacifist route. I can see that. I could see that. Sometimes you're like, no, I'm going to give them all the happiest happy ending. Everything's going to be happy. Asriel gets saved, and Kara gets saved, and everybody gets saved. You're all saved now, which, like, you know what? That's valid. Perfectly valid reason to make a fan game. I know. Book library. Now that AGDQ is done, I need to get back to listening to Moby Dick. I still have like 9 hours left on that book. And it's probably due this week. Why is that book so long? I'm gonna have to pull it out a third time. Let's see what other books I need to check out. Never enough time in the day. Chapter 4 enemies be very abstract for Eldritchrune. Which kind of makes sense because the Chapter 4 enemies were pretty abstract just in the game itself. I want to see how those guys interact more with the rest of Castletown once we get there. And I'll get to it one bit at a time. Why, whenever I hear that dumb thing, I'm like, well, all games are going to use generative AI in the future. I'm like, well, then I'll just stop playing new ones. I've got a giant backlog of old ones. I can spend the rest of my life on that. I'm not worried. I don't think I'm going to run out of good human-made experiences anytime soon. Yet we have centuries of history for that. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. I think that's the case. Like, what makes arts fun is like, oh, a person made this. Why did they make those choices? How did they make those choices? Those are cool. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anyway. But yeah, backlog will be forever huge until the end of time. Because people like to make things. It's just how we be. I guess that's why people are like, what? Well, don't you want this to, like, you know, make it for you? I'm just like, no. I don't want to. Why would I want that? It's like saying, don't you want a robot to pet your dog for you? No, that's the thing I want to do. I want you to do the dishes for me. Can you do that? No? Then get out of my life. I don't think we're getting any dishwashing robots anytime soon. And if we do, they're going to end up being either A, really slow and bad at it, or B, actually just some poor person from like the global south doing it remotely. So I might as well just do it myself. No, exactly. It's not about whether you're good or bad at it. It's about the fact that you're doing it. It is the act itself that is worthwhile. Right, as soon as I finish this guy, I'm going to take my stretch break. That is the one drawback, is my stupid physical body is like, oh, you're trying to draw all the time? Well, we're going to cause problems about that. Yeah, that's true. Dishwashers exist. Unfortunately, not in my house. I wish they did. I gotta wash all my dishes by hand. My kitchen's too small. My little apartment. I don't have a dishwasher. So, in that sense, I would, and also, like, at least from what I understand, dishwasher, one of those inventions where it's, like, actually the time-saving device is also, like, better for the environment. I think they use less water, more hygienic, but alas alack, what can I do? Alright, and we'll come back to that in a bit. Let's do a stretch break. Yeah. Exactly. If you can't do something yourself, that is where either A, you limit your scope, which can actually be very good for art, or B, you reach out to other artists who can do what you want to do and be like, hey, I need some help with this. Either be friends with them so they'll do it for free, or pay them. Help creative people do tedious things, not tedious people do creative things. Ain't that the truth? It ain't even creative. Yep, my kitchen is a small kitchen. It's enough for me, one person, but that doesn't mean I have to do all my dishes by hand. Oh well, it's not my least favorite chore. Yeah, I'm sure, like, I use the hot water as much as I can, but I'm sure it's not as hygienically hot as if I had a dishwasher. I'd say what is my least favorite chore? My least favorite chore is probably cleaning out the fridge. I hate doing that. I hate when there's like old food there. Ooh. That's why I try and only keep things in my fridge that I intend to use in a relatively short period of time, and even then there's still, some things that were used once and then not again. But then I like go to my parents' place and their fridge is just full of stuff, and I'm kind of watching like, there's so much stuff in here. I mean, I know a dishwasher is for, a fridge is for like using, obviously, but I don't know, I hate cleaning out the fridge. That's my least favorite chore. The dramatic sting of the music agrees with me. No, it doesn't. Dum dum. Alright. Ooh. I just did a bunch of chores and laundry yesterday, so I'm all choresed up, chore-pilled. It's usually set aside, okay, one day every 3 weeks, that's cleaning day. That's about my limit in terms of like, ew, it's too dirty now, I don't like it, I don't feel good, ew, gotta clean. Yeah, I get that at the grocery store too, where I'm like, oh, I'll buy 2 of these? Well, too bad I don't have space for that. I'm not going to use 2 of these, so never mind. Alright, be right back for one more stretch and water and stuff. Hello. I am back. A long time. Oh, I get it. Took me a minute. I got it. That was such a creepy tune for her. What an introduction. It's kind of this perfectly chilling, like, songs that give you the heebie-jeebies. What if we put legs on a little bowl? What if we just did that? It's long. It's C. You don't really care for music, do you? It's C, which is basically Carol's thing. Long time no C. The music that's like. Maybe depends on what order you're looking at it in. I can't quite replicate, but apparently it's like the sound of a sleigh bell, but like kind of like pulled down and warped a bit. No, sword tracks. I don't have the sword tracks. I honestly really like Sword. Really solid song. Reinforced central club, so C is 9 on the album. Man, I love how people were like, oh, you know, there's a song called W in chapter 1 and a song called D in chapter 2. The next one should be called G, and then it's like, no, it's just C. Wrong. I wonder if we'll get a more like expanded version of that song that will actually be called Carol. Well, I don't know. As it is, it's pretty effective. It gets slightly wider. What if there was a sad face at the bottom of your cereal bowl? Take the deal. It's your choice. But don't give him your money. Really wonder if we're doing anything else with Spampton. Meanwhile, poor Jibbal's just like, alright, I'll be here, hanging out. Oh, yes, this is Chapter 4 Darkness. Someone asked for more complete pictures of them, so I'm like, alright, let's do a bunch of these guys. Especially since the chances of them showing up in actual comics is slim. I'm gonna have to flippity flip you over. It's hard to draw the other way. What is Eldritchrune? What isn't Eldritchrune? True. We are the philosophers. We understand nothing. It's all so incomprehensible. I do love how like unearthly all the chapter 4 enemies were. All of them felt like just a little bit ethereal, a little bit funky. Oh, thank you, Ansem. You're so smart. Have some sense of their world not being the main one. Do you mean like the ones in the second sanctuary? The one that Susie made? I do find it very weird how, like, you know, in the first Dark Sanctuary, it's all like, oh, these are our ancestors, and then you reverse it, oh, these are our ancestors. And then we get to the third one, and it's like, well, I guess we're all here with our ancestors at the same time. Okay. Find it interesting that all these Darkners are just vastly misinterpreting what their, you know, other side of the mind people are like. I don't know if they ever necessarily do that. It would be interesting, but I don't know if any of them really do, like, have this idea of, like, oh, our world is not meant to be. They seem to mostly just be commenting on, again, look at this weirdo from long ago. It ate meat and fire. Look at this thing. It must have eaten seeds and berries. Yeah, Rouse is definitely the one who's like, please ignore me. I'm not supposed to, you know, be real. Rouse, stop that. You're so self-depreciating. Tell you what, hard to do wing glades as Eldritchrune guys, because they're already kind of pretty weird looking. Like this, the sword is pierced through the eye or something. I know. Then the crowd goes wild. I feel like he's at least got to get his own secret boss. Try and get him to be himself a little bit. What is being Rouse like? He's got to get a really nice scarf. I'm going to pour it through there and then we'll erase. That'll be easier. And the crowd goes wild. Yay. It was foreshadowing all along. For the record, I don't think we're gonna get a trans storyline with Rouse, but if we did, I would not complain. I'd be like, oh dang, that's heckin' cool. And the signs were there. Definitely Rouse has issues with identity, and that does include gender to quite a few degrees, so. A lot of issues with identity. It's almost like this, you know, game is about teenagers or something. How hard is it to draw a circle? Ah. I do find it interesting that Rouse is like, I'm a Darkner, not supposed to have, you know, likes and dislikes. And I'm like, you're the only one who seems to have a problem with that, dude. All the other Darkners are like, yeah, we have things we like and dislike. We have, you know, preferences. We have goals. You're the one struggling with this the most. Like, even as they recognize the fact that, yep, we're Darkners, we are supposed to, you know, do stuff for the Lightners, they still have identities and preferences. Yeah, I get maybe it is with them being interacted with. They have a deeper sense of identity. Yep, King definitely had his own goals. I was like, I'll just make up and assume that the Knights has my goals, because obviously they do. I haven't heard anything about there being like pills in Noelle's room that got cut. Like there was definitely a pink and blue and white color scheme going on in her room, which is pretty neat. But I haven't heard anything about pills. Also, I can kind of see that, like, unless it's super clear that they're supposed to be like HRT, like just a bottle of pills can be read a lot of different ways, including as like, you know, pills for depression and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, as proved time and time again with the fandom, I don't think that Toby can be as subtle as he might like to be in some instances. Yeah, especially like, again, they thought that the rose wilting scene would be fine for the weird route. Turns out people immediately thought about SA, so that was changed very quickly. That was changed lickety splits. To the point where I'm kind of surprised it wasn't caught in testing. Noelle is definitely hiding a lot of how she feels from people. Man, I can't type when I do this one-handed. Gaster Blaster. No, this is Balthazar. Fire Lizard. That's why he's like, I'm on fire! I'm on fire! They don't hire media literate testers. The problem is like, I think that's a fair comparison to make. Like, I can see how you would see that stuff and be like, oh, this is indicating sexual assault. Alright, let's put this line too. Now, I can definitely see what Toby's intention was with it. I think the intention was, on his end, clearly supposed to be, like, you know, loss of innocence, you know, breaking of trust kind of thing. But, unfortunately, it's the wilting flower specifically has connotations. And I think, like, the way it is now with, like, the shattered glass slash roots thing works a lot better, because one, that both, you know, indicates, you know, breaking of innocence and, you know, shattering of trust, and also the idea of like a seed that's been planted. So I think that imagery works pretty well. Yeah, I guess that is the problem. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But yeah, I assume he changed it very quickly when people were like, no, that's not what it's supposed to imply. Because yeah, if you're doing that, that's taking it into a pretty dark, serious realm very fast. So this is not just, you know, childhood, you know, adventure stuff. That's a criminal. Not very fun at all. Not good. Like, obviously you can do that in video games, like, say, you know, mouth washing, stuff like that, but that is clearly not what he wanted to do for this instance. So again, I think the way it is now works better. Again, you still get the ideas across on multiple levels. And imagery that cannot be misconstrued. Took on a weird route. Wow. Wow. I'd be willing to try mouthwashing, although I don't know if it would have the same effect since, like, I know what happens in it. I'm kind of spoiled on it. I'm sure a lot of it is, like, you know, kind of realizing what's going on as you're playing it. Okie dokie. This is a hot, hot lizard. It would kind of be the opposite since, like, in canon, Balthazar is like, chill out, man. Relax. Slow down. Incense in particular is such a Catholic thing. I'm kind of wondering how it would relate to the monster prophecy religion. What are you using that for? What does that do? Yes, mouthwashing is absolutely a horror game. It is supposed to upset you. That is its purpose. And I haven't really played any horror games. I might dip my toe into them, but we'll see how it goes. But depends on what I have time for. Yeah, even BioShock, I wouldn't really call as much a horror game as, like, maybe action horror. Like, there are scary elements, but even then I wouldn't compare it to, I don't know if I compare it to, like, I don't know, Resident Evil or something like that. It's kind of a different thing. You can throw bees at people. You could throw bees at them. Alright, let's start shading some stuff. Like, what if I put bees in my arm and then threw them at your face? Since these are like sketches, I don't have to do like full coloring or stuff on them, which is a plus. That'll make it easier to get through. Here's just little guys. Shading there. Also, a little bit on the fingertips. Yeah, I'm not great with first-person games. I'm especially not great with first-person shooters. Again, I tried way back in the day to be like, alright, let's try some other games, you know, let's expand and try some genres that, you know, let's try some things that are popular. So I gave Uncharted 2 a try. I think I still have a copy of it, actually, after I got my PlayStation 3 or whatever. And I pretty much stopped once we got to a part where things had to be shot, and I haven't picked it up since. I'm like, okay, I don't enjoy this. This isn't fun. I don't really want to learn how to do it. I don't know, maybe if it was like a more, less realistic, more, you know, funsies kind of shoot 'em up like Quake or something, I don't know. But I did not really have fun doing first-person shooter. It isn't first-person most of the time. It has some moments of it, though. I guess even third-person shooting I didn't like. Either way, I stopped. I was not having fun. Like, I'll have to watch somebody else do that, because I don't think I want to spend money on it. I don't think I'd enjoy it. I guess, yeah, the problem with third-person shooting is it's not even like, okay, the focus of, you know, the first-person shooter is like, alright, just, you know, focus on your targets. But third-person shooting is like, okay, and I have to think about all this other stuff that's going on. Fortnite greatest achievement. I don't know if it says that much for Fortnite, but... Well, plenty of other games I enjoy. Like, I do like racing games. Even though I'm not good at them. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah, we're doing crazy Wingblade. You'd hope it's good. No. Yeah, I don't think I could ever do Fortnite. I mean, not even to mention the, you know, whole multiplayer aspect. That's way too stressful. A tubular Wingblade. He's watching you. I'm always watching, Wazowski. Always watching. Not the biggest fan. Like, there are some multiplayer games I like. For example, Smash Brothers. That's fun. I love me some Smash Brothers. And there are others I'm probably forgetting, but if you told me them, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I like that. But in general, I don't really seek them out. I am impressed by people who, you know, coordinate well with that kind of stuff. I did have friends who used to be very big into Overwatch. Actually, you know, if there was any kind of, like, shooter multiplayer game I think that I might be willing to give a try, probably Splatoon. That seems like it'd be, like, the gimmick of it would be fun. More of a capture the flag thing than anything else. I guess that's kind of Team Fortress 2 as well. I guess also kind of Overwatch. I'm not sure. Like, I'm sure there's something that, like, differentiates the capture the flag situation. The artist wants to play the painting game. Dude. Yep. Who would have guessed about that? And I just thought of something else. I was like, oh, I enjoy that multiplayer, and then, like, the thought immediately left my brain. Gosh darn it. What was I thinking of? No. There was one other multiplayer game I was like, that looks like fun, but I can't remember it all of a sudden. Dumb brain. Oh wait, I know. Among Us. I played that back in the day. That was what it was. Problem is I'm not good at Among Us. I think I do better in, like, hide and seek rules where everybody knows who, like, the imposter is. It's just a matter of avoiding them, kind of thing. Because the one time I was imposter, I was, like, just gave myself away terribly. I'm not a good liar. I'm sorry. Just give me my little tasks to do. I'll try not to get killed. Oh, that's all. There's always something at least that the kids are like, I'm going to do this instead of schoolwork. And draw the fire on this guy. Fire! That's what a good liar would want us to think. Well then, I don't know, teach me how to lie better. I'm just... Again, I'm like, I have too many tells, I'm sure. I'm like, I'm not lying, while I'm just like shaking and crying. I'm very normal about this right now. It's like, hands are sweaty. I guess I would need to practice, but I don't really want to practice that. That's not a skill I really want to improve on. I'm bad at, like, dealing with conflict, too, because, like, I just wear my emotions on my sleeve so much, so if I'm angry, I can't be, like, diplomatic about it. We just asked if your connection is good. Exactly. No, I gave myself away too bad because I tried to figure out venting and I just vented in front of somebody else, so they immediately saw me, and instead of, like, you know, me doing the sensible thing and killing them right away and then making up something about it, I just kind of panicked in a corner of the room. So that would require more practice. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not good at murdering people. Even the little cartoon guys. I guess some games make that a little bit easier than others, but I promise to kill them if they don't snitch. And I'll keep you alive if you don't snitch, but I don't think that would have worked very well. It would be a neat trick if you could pull that off, but I don't know how you would do that in Among Us. Yeah, I've never played any Danganronpa. I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sure. Then again, in general, like, even before Among Us, like, I'm trying to think of, you know, back in my day, it wasn't Among Us. It was either called Werewolf or Mafia, and you played that in person with playing cards. So you had to lie to people's faces, and I was not good at it then. No, it's just like, please don't make me the werewolf. Like, please just make me a villager. Or whatever. Like, I know the game was usually Mafia, but I don't know what all the other roles were if you were playing Mafia. Whereas Werewolf got complicated, and you would have, like, okay, somebody's the werewolf, people are you know, villagers, but then somebody else is, like, the werewolf hunter, and somebody else is this role, and it kind of went weird directions. But it seemed like one of those games where it's like you can kind of make up rules for it, and those will kind of work. People will just be like, oh, okay, I guess these are the rules now. And I gotta stop soon and do my stretches. You can draw what you want forever. That's my response. If you want to do it, then do it. You can draw what you want forever. No one can stop you. Gotcha. Sorry, I missed it then. I need to do more stuff with Lancer. I'm kind of thinking ahead to like Eldritchrune comics I need to do in the future, and I'm like, shoot, I don't have much opportunities to do anything with Lancer in the future. My boy! What will I do with my boy? The bouncy boy. Okay. Oh, I guess they're doing a new Danganronpa. Well, in that case, you also can do whatever you want forever. When it comes to art or a videos game, you can do what you want. Okay. Good grief, when did those come out? It must have been a while ago. I just wasn't aware. It's been a while. Been a while. More water. Yeah. My throat is still a little bit bleh. And not as bad as it was last week. Okay. And we're almost done with that. It is time to do a stretch break. It's been 10 years. It's been 84 years. I think I rewatched Titanic recently because it was on TV when I was visiting my parents' place. That movie still holds up. I think James Cameron is doing best if he's like, we're just gonna tell about water and the Titanic. Because saw a couple movies with my family while I was visiting. One of them was Zootopia 2, which was very good. I liked it a lot. Thought it was a pretty good follow-up to the first one. And I liked the new characters. But then we also saw the third Avatar movie. And I hadn't seen the second one, so I'm kind of like, well, I hope I don't have to know much about the second one to go into the third one. And I kind of did. Because I'm like, huh, that sure is a white guy in dreads hanging out with all the aliens. Okay. And by the time we're done, I'm like, okay, so this movie was Fire and Ash. You know, for a movie called Fire and Ash, there sure was a lot of water in this movie. I know they're following up with the previous one that, you know, takes place, Way of Water, takes place in the water. I'm like, I think that's where you wanted to stay, James Cameron. I think you just wanted to keep on with the water guys. Maybe, Stop trying to say things about actual Native American tribes and just put that man in a boat with a camera. He'll be happy. Or in a submarine with a camera. Odd choices in that. Avatar very much seems one of the things that's like, wow, this is such neat world building. Too bad I don't care about any of the characters that are involved in this. Like, I don't know what it is. It's not like he can't do character writing. Again, the Titanic holds up. The Abyss is good. Anyways, alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch and orange juice and stuff. Yay, I return with my drinks. Said of the Avatar soundtrack, he wanted it to be understandable to everyone from Oklahoma to South Dakota. Huh. Yeah, that says something, I think. that says a little something. The funny thing, because at least from, this was probably on a Sideways video or something, or maybe it was something else, but like, originally there was like, this beautiful like new kind of music planned, combination from a lot of different native music styles, kind of its own really cool ethereal thing that they're going to have an Avatar. And then that was just ditched for something more understandable. Yeah, okay, it was Sideways, yeah. Which that sucks. Like, we could have had like some really cool sci-fi take on native music, and you chickened out, dude. Why did you do that? I mean, I know why you did that, because you chickened out, but it kind of sucks. It's fun to hear new, weird, different things. I say as I listen to the same songs over and over, but you know how it is. Still, if you're gonna have your movie be like, hey, here it's set on this, alien sci-fi planet, I don't know, that's a good opportunity to try something extremely different. Might as well take it. It's half the fun of designing alien worlds anyways. Like, let's push it how far we can. But, Who's ding-dinging me? Nobody's ding-dinging me. It's just, hey, this is about your phone. Let's do that up a little bit. It looks like fire. Is it hot in me, or is it just here? Man, if there's anything that makes me want, like, I want to go to like a concert, a version of like all the Eldritchrune music like they had for Undertale in the past. Because I think like seeing an orchestrated version of Guardian would be so cool. Oh, Toby, can you do that in the future maybe, please? Don't you think that'd be really cool? I suppose it's probably the kind of thing we'd have to wait until full game's done. Alright, half-hour lunch. Do a little brighter. I think these guys are about done. I don't know if there's any other oh, shush phone. If there's any other design elements I wanted to add for them, because these are just the basic sketches. Alright, cool. Now let's go back to these guys. You finished it for the first time. Whoa! Yeah, Guardian's so fun. And I love the Garrison fight. I'm not super good at it, but I did really enjoy it. I think that was probably my favorite secret boss fight for a number of reasons. Yeah, I do love Guardian a lot. I do wonder why it's titled that, but just as a song piece, it's really good. Oh, with Asgore, that reminds me. Oh, great! Are we gonna have a remake of Asgore's boss theme? A future chapter? Let's see. I think maybe we can do like a indication. This is water. I'm gonna have to do like some funky gradient stuff on Miss Mizzle. But also, congrats on finishing the chapter for the first time. Have you gone back to do the mic room yet? I suppose I should try the mic room more now that I think about it. I only dabbled in it a little bit. Played the mics early? Okay. I haven't tried much of the mini games. That's because all the stuff with the mics, I like the actual microphone, like the actual volume stuff. I'm like, ah, what am I doing? Ah, what am I doing? Ah. I still think it would be pretty cool if we were using that ability again in the future or something else. As difficult as it might be to actually do that. Yeah. They're certainly not easy battles. I struggled with Garrison a lot. I feel like Garrison, you especially need like a really good loadout for it. It's just Susie. Susie getting her special axe. I'm gonna go through and erase stuff. Yeah, it's like having a good loadout, and yeah, grinding TP so that you can heal more. That's what I mostly relied on, was like, okay, always attack and then heal. Unless I miraculously didn't take many hits, in which case, try a Rude Buster at him, because that will get him to be happy too. I love how like whenever you like either heal or like do a successful Rude Buster parry, he like does a little twirl, like he's so happy about it. We love you, old man. I hope we see him again somehow. Yeah, I was using just a PS4 controller, because whenever I tried to switch to like keyboard, I've struggled. I couldn't do the diagonals well at all. In general, I've just kind of found I do Deltarune a little bit easier with a controller than with the keyboard, even though like I definitely did Undertale mostly with the keyboard, at least when I first got it. But as I've gone on, I've just found controller a little bit easier with Eldritchrune. Maybe I just don't have enough keyboard practice like some folks do. Yeah, in terms of secret bosses, favorites probably Garrison. Easiest for me is Spamton. Honestly, probably my least favorite's Jeffel. Ooh. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think they're going to bring him to Castletown just because, especially now that Susie knows, like, okay, she can't actually do that, and it'll guarantee that he's, revived the same way. I can still see him making a reappearance, if things really go sideways in the greater story. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't like the Jevil fight. I struggle too much. It's such a stressful fight, somehow. And I guess, honestly, there's also not that much, there's not much variety in it. It's a lot of, like, accurately dodging projectiles. Now you're dodging diamonds. Now you're dodging clubs. Now you're dodging that stupid spade attack. Whereas pretty much all the other fights, like including, Knight and stuff like that, have such a wide variety of things they're doing. Keeps you on your toes. Keeps it interesting. I think also part of it is, like, Jevil is not really Toby's character. It's more related with Canotine's character. So. And also I think Jevil kind of exists to introduce... I just bit my tongue. To introduce you to the concept of optional bosses. So, he doesn't have much room to be super exciting. Some folks really like him, but I'm like, he's fine. He's a weird guy. But I don't really enjoy fighting him again, whereas Garrison and I would have a good time with it. Even as I suck at it, I still have a good time at it. Oh, it's a pen, not that. Wait, how do you cheat against the Knight? Yeah, I've only beaten the Knight once. I'm like, oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to do that again. I think I'm hopefully can just use that one file where I won, and that'll get copied forward. I have everything on that except for all the moss. I at least have like the egg and recruits and stuff like that. But having to fight that again. Ooh. Yeah, I don't really know how you would cheat against that. Oh, so like you actually modded the game. Okay. Unless you mean like you quote-unquote cheated by not recruiting people and fighting them, because that'll get you HP. But I'm assuming you like went into the numbers themselves and tweaked them. I kind of wish that was something like the characters could comment on. You know, that they can tell that their stats have been tweaked, but I'm not sure how you would do that. No, save editing. Okay. Wait a minute, I feel stronger for some reason. How did that happen? Suspiciously right before this difficult fight. I don't know how to do save editing, so I have to do things the hard way. I mean, I'm sure I could learn if somebody taught me, but I'll just do them the hard way. But, yeah, hopefully I won't have to do that night fight again anytime soon. And if we do have to fight them again, which I'm pretty sure is going to be happening in the future, because ain't no way it ain't, hopefully it'll be something a bit more manageable in the future. Something a bit more, okay, anybody can win in this scenario. Defeat here is all but guaranteed. But it'd be really neat if you won anyway. I'm going to cheer you on. I'm WD Gaster. I can feel it, your power of video games. It's growing stronger by the minute. Just like your dating power, except it's video games power. Yes, yes, you're what I've needed for so long. A gamer. Birdie's like, I don't know how I feel about the fact that the devil, like, needs a video gamer, but it's neat. My powers are video games. And mostly being stubborn. It does kind of suck how, like, unless you already are going into that fight with, like, a whole lot of extra revivements, things get significantly harder. Like, well, I hope you haven't used those revivements for various other reasons up to this point. Because otherwise, uh-oh. You use a bunch of the Tenafite and you're like, well, that's what they're here for, right? It's a boss battle. I should use my revivements here. Oh no. No one mentioned anything about the other boss battle. On my first playthrough, like, I got to E-Ran, and I couldn't get past it. And I was like, okay, I have to keep going. This is my first playthrough. I want to finish this today, so I'll just keep going. I hope that was the secret boss so I can get back to them later. No. Honestly, I think that's what happened. I completely agree. I think that Alvin was kidnapped off screen in Chapter 4. And I'm kind of surprised more people don't assume that, because, like, if the whole point is that we don't want Susie and or the player to get the codes, one of those is a church code. You know, so Undyne makes that harder to get. Okay, let's make the church one harder to get. Yeah, there's so much confusion about what is going on with Toriel there. Because it's not even like, you know, they're kidnapping her like the knight did with Undyne, where it picked her up and carried her away. He was like using like poison beam on her. There was something else going on there that was very weird. It's like, I'm not gonna let you take her. It's like, but how does poison beam do that? But no, I actually do agree. I think Alvin was kidnapped off screen. I think people are gonna be next chapter be like, huh, haven't seen Alvin and the church is trashed. I wonder what happened with that. The mayor's like, well, I guess I'll open an investigation into that. Oh, police are missing too. Alright, I'll get to that after the festival. That comes first, and he will kind of have to deal with it. But no, the knight kidnapped him. He needs to read Susie's letter. When is that going to happen? I'm also still of the mind that even though, like, Alvin was kidnapped to prevent, it's a little bit too bright. Carol's going to the shelter. Wink, wink. Exactly. Maybe a little darker. Oh, sheesh. No matter what I do, it's not quite the... Okay, I think that kind of gray will work. It's supposed to be watery anyway. Yeah. I think, despite Carol's efforts, we're going to be getting more shelter codes. One, because, the player can guess 1, 2, 2, 5, even if Susie's not picking up on it. Two, I feel like the 2202 number from the fire extinguisher is also the church code, because why not? I mean, maybe it's not, but still something easy the player could pick up on, like, oh, that's the church code. Then you just need the police code, which we can get from Asgore, because he was former chief of police, and I think that's what we're going to be doing next chapter as well. We're going to be getting the police code from him. So, despite best efforts, even if Susie doesn't get it, I think the player has access to all the codes. But I do think in order to try and prevent that from happening in some sense, Alvin's going to get kidnapped. He's going to get turtle napped. Let's do some Gaussian... Wait, I wanted motion blur, not Gaussian blur. I am doing motion blur, right? Yes, okay, that is motion blur. Do the right kind of blur. Huh. I wonder what the last number would be then in that case. If it wasn't, if it was not that. Although I do suspect that, the reason why we got that answer for that part of the ARG is like, okay, 1, 2, 2, 5 seems like the obvious thing, because that number keeps showing up a bunch. With a little bit of hey, I know you're seeing dust everywhere, but this might not actually be a dust thing kind of thing. Get back to these guys. Doing a little bit of did this a little bit of yesterday. All that stuff with Candy and Jockington. Oh yeah, that would be interesting if the final code was not actually 1225. But I suspect that is just the case with it. Speedy! We got the zoomies. The zoomies. Alright, do some white on that. Yeah, I am glad I'm not the only one who's like, I don't think we're going to see Alvin next chapter. I think he was kidnapped. We're not going to be able to see what on earth he thinks of Susie's letter. Not right away, anyway. Not hard to do. Caddy's right side because of all the dumb void stuff on there. I also find it interesting that in the ARG kind of chided everybody for choosing 11. It's like, maybe that's not it. I think my answer was like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a numeral. Maybe it's like story related. So I said the next day at the festival, like that was my answer, and I gotta move forward with this answer reply. I'm not sure what the purpose of it will be for, because I'm not playing the weird route, so I'm very curious to see where it goes. A little bit of this and just kind of see what's going on there. I got the pink on that too. Luckily, I got caddy pictures. So I can pull up the pink. Oh, my pink and gold! Ah! I do want to see Caddy and Joggington do more next chapter, please. There's clearly something that's going to happen with them. What will it be? Let us find out. So let them actually participate in the Dark World. That would be neat. Unless, oh no. Jockington has grown the beard. We're all doomed. She always covered in hair. I only get hair sometime. That's what he would say about that. That was always one of my predictions that I felt like was a sure thing for chapters 3 and 4, and then that didn't happen very much. Basically, that Caddy and Jockey would become relevant. But maybe it'll be chapter 5. Maybe I was just off by one bit. I'm a little surprised it didn't happen earlier, though. But oh well, we had other things to cover. Like Garrison, who's the coolest? I'm so happy we got Garrison in chapter 4 as we did. He was so fun. And even though my initial thoughts were actually Garrison Knight, I like what we got a lot better. It still covered the things that I wanted to like be addressed. And also we got cool mentor storyline with Susie and Garrison, and that was just so good. So I was happy with that. When I got to stop for my stretch break. I'll try and finish stuff with Caddy and Jockington first. Ugh. My throat's still a little off. Ugh. Let's go to the palettes page. We need red. I said red for lasers. For the lasers. What if somebody had a laser, big laser pointer? We have to do funny cat and snake things if we have a big snake cat. Including zoomies, which means we need to do motion blur. That looks fine. Motion blur. Motion blur. Everybody's blurred. She's speed. Okay, it is my stretch break time. So we'll do that before we move on to the rest of the stuff. I can do a little bit of character color stuff too. Since I got 2 character cards finally to try and tackle. Yeah, well, I'm doing all of these on separate pages for now. I will separate them out when I'm done, just to post them individually, but that's just been a long time since I've done any, like, non-comic doodles, just from asks and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, let's go into the backlog of asks I have and pick out some ones that are fun so I can do a few of those all at once and then kind of spread them out. Spread them out over time so I have something to post when I'm still in the middle of next comic and all the ending stuff. Guess who's back? It's mine. Whoa! Gasp. Scandalous. Scandalous. There's a spine there and everything. But also, welcome back. I am stretching real quick. And then we will continue on with a little more of this and a little more coloring. Because that should be fun. Ugh, it's still all gray and gloomy outside though. I'm looking forward to the sun's return. Whenever that might be. Well, I still need to do Caddy and Jockington's the meeting comic for them because they are fun to draw. They're actually probably my favorite Eldritchrune design of the main beasts. It's because I got to try some cool things with them. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and stuff like that. Alrighty, I am back and ready for more. It's Caddy and Jockington, yes. Being sillies. Just finished that. Being kitty and sneaky. Alright, we have finished stuff off with them. So I think I got one more group here to tackle. And that's the mics. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. I hope you're doing well. I am doing okay, even though I was getting over a head cold I had over the week. But it's just about better now. Unfortunately, the whole time I had the cold, I'm like, well, this isn't bad enough for me not to work, so just had to work through it. Drink a lot of water, all that stuff. But, at the very least, knock on wood, I don't think that left me with a big cough, which is usually what happens, and then I deal with that for like 2 months. Seems to not have done that, so that's a plus. I'll take my wins where I can get them. I'm gonna see this guy's like, it's friend. I'm like, no, it's Pluie. This is not my beautiful house. Welcome back from the lunch, which I will be getting eventually. If somebody will be like, how are you going to do Eldritchrune Pluie? I'll be like, I don't know. Because I don't know much about canon Pluie. Or not Pluie, a friend. This is Pluie. Friend. If I want to do friend in Eldritchrune, I'll be like, I don't know. I'm mostly just very curious to see how we deal with friend in canon itself. This is just a shadow guy who really likes being a cat. Shadow wool guy. True. True, true. You can't be Pluie. That's the name of the minigame. Where's Pluie? I want to see Pluie. And Pippin's like, this is not what he's called. I'm kind of glad that Green Pippins did kind of tell Tin off. He's like, you're not very nice to your employees. And he's like, oh. Call him whatever we want, Robbie Radiation. They say he likes Pluie. And it is kind of hard to give him a name otherwise because Shadow Guys just make saxophone noises. I love that thing that Toby did before the new chapters came out where it's just like top 5 Shadow Guy quotes. Blair! Blair! The like Windows Movie Maker style stuff going on. Nobody shitposts like Toby. Y'all try. No one can quite do it. When you have a bat, everything looks like a tat. Why has nobody made that joke yet? When you have a bat, everything looks like a conspiracy board. The Incredible Cone Man. I only know of the cone heads. And also, hello, thank you for coming. We're doing various doodles and character colors today. can do whatever you want forever in regards to that. The sound was, of all things, a sax riff, huh? I have never heard of this, but I'm sure there's like a bajillion, you know, old PS1 games that I've never heard of. I do kind of like that, like back in like the early PS1 days, like nobody really knew what to do with it, so it's kind of like, we're just gonna do whatever. Here's LSD Dream Simulator. Here's weird, creepy stuff. Have fun. Yeah, let's do demo discs. This isn't a game. We just want you to look at our weird pictures of, like, you know, flying jellyfish. We should do more of that. Oh, that's not the right thing I wanted. I guess whatever. Yeah, even when I did have a PS1, I don't think I ever tried any demo discs. Well, I'm looking into the beacon from Critical Role. I don't know. I like weird little experimental art pieces that people put out there just to do stuff. Oh, cool. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, I'm glad you had fun at MagFest. MagFest looks very fun. I've never been. But I do know somebody else who went there and participated in like music stuff like that. So that's super fun. I strangely imagine that like a Tenna cosplay might actually be one of the easier ones to do, because you know you get the proper suit for it. That's not too hard to put on, and then just have to deal with the TV head. But yeah, that's fun. I'm glad you went. Oh, UTY Clover. Okay, cool. Yeah. I thought you meant Deltarune Clover for a bit too. I'm like, oh, that's impressive, but no. Undertale Yellow Clover makes sense. That would also be an easier cosplay to do than Deltarune Clover. There's an ongoing meme in the JP Deltarune community. Huh? Like, how is the dialect different? I'm curious how it's different. Like, if you were to make a comparison to English, like, what would the difference be? Yeah, somebody should be able to do some Sorobas, too. Oh, imagine, like, a Soroba cosplayer with, like, a little, like, 6-year-old dressed as Kanako. Oh. Oh. That'd be cute. With her little ears. So then if you have the husband as Chujin, which could be, you know, its own thing, but I think that'd be very cute. Okay. Here's the mics. They're trying to do some soothsaying. Alright, I think that's everybody that we needed to cover on this, because I think we also did... Yep, we did all these guys. Let's dive into some other stuff. Okay, see that's a proper, like, just a TV t-shirt with Sans written on it. Like, that's how he would cosplay. It's thematically appropriate. Take with very small eye holes. That would be funny. Alright. Ram! Get over here, Ram Sprite. Actually, should I do mostly orange or mostly white? Let's stick with mostly orange, and we'll add purple-white accents. Yeah, that's totally understandable. I've only cosplayed once in my life, and even then I made somebody else make the costume. I have some friends who are very skilled at it. Just absolutely absolutely amazing costume designers, but that's not me. I'll do some kind of whitish thing. What is ERM gonna be like personality-wise? You know, kind of, hopefully the same a little bit as he is in like you know, Canon. Very people-pleasy, trying to play up nice to Chris. Of course, his deal is that I think he wants to he kind of wants to go for his own godhood, so he starts needing human souls for that. So, kind of like, well, maybe I can get it from this human, you know. Still gonna have a British accent. But, he's just, not terribly good at it. I know, that is the curse. It's like, darn, all the characters I want to be require, like, armor or a fursuit. Oh no. Or both. Accurate British portrayal. Oh no. Yeah, Ram is a little bit not terribly good at what he's trying to do, unfortunately. He's shooting for the moon, but landed among the stars, I guess. Yeah, trying to think, the only cosplay I did was like Lane from Serial Experiments Lane way back in the day. And I decided instead of like putting on a wig to get my hair cut in that style, and I showed it to the hairdresser, and they were not very happy about that. I'm like, dude, it'll grow back fine. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, a strong Susie cosplayer. Oh my goodness, I bet that made some people be like, ooh, nice. That's cool. Get yourself a Susie cosplayer who can lift everybody. Extremely cool. I do kind of miss seeing like meetups like that. That's always fun. Alright. We gotta do the blues and purples on you. Yeah. Oh no, ad time! Ad time, get out of here. Yeah, the thing with cosplay is just, it does take time. It takes time and effort, like any kind of skill or craft. I haven't gone to many conventions that recently. I do want to try and go to some more. Like, I want to go back to Vancouver. And, Fan Expo, whenever that is. That could be fun. colors are all doled up on this. An awkward little creature stumbling into your camp. Oh, that's really funny. Fan and Dust, the photo shoot. Everybody loves them, their Lost Girl. Everybody wants to be a Lost Girl. Also, you know, excuse to cosplay with some flannel. And hey, it seems to be confirmed at least that she is in fact a flannel wearer. It's in her closet. Seems a, you know, seems a good place to go with that. Just, you know, get yourself a pair of antlers, nice flannel jacket, probably some boots, baseball bat, antlers, and there you go. Everybody's like, oh, Des. Yeah, it has a basis because she has a flannel jacket in her closet. She do. She also has one of Asriel's shirts in there, which, oh. I think that might have been an early take on it. Like, people guessed beforehand that she probably wore flannel, and then, like, canon confirmed it. But yeah, she does have an Asriel shirt in there. Let's see how these colors go with Ram here. Yeah, she has like a leather jacket, a flannel jacket, and one of Asriel's shirts, and I can't remember what else is in there. Military camo, that was it. Yeah, that sounds correct. Which I guess also then vibes with you know, her having MREs in her room. Evil Ram, true. What if Ram was like fucked up and stuff? He'd still be a kind of pathetic little sop, but also fucked up. Square surrounded by lines of more brown and red. Well, with flannel, like, you know, that's just a plaid pattern, right? So you could do that from various different ways. It just usually shows up as like a red and black plaid. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a plaid flannel. You go through all the options you want. I'm kind of wondering, like, how many people guessed flannel before we got that in Chapter 4, because I'm pretty sure that even before that was a popular guess. And heck, I would say that, like, a lot of people were very right when it came to, like, Carol, too. Like, you know, her being kind of pale blonde, business attire. Seems like that was nailed. The blue antlers was an interesting choice, though. Yeah, we could all tell just from the way people talked about her. Like, oh, this is a not a nice lady. We've all seen this kind of mom before, even when it wasn't our mom. You know, we still know. Oh, that's a kind of lady. A kind of terrifying kind of lady. And then her theme song made her even more terrifying. What if Ram was fucked up indeed? Okay. We need to put some color down here. Yeah, honestly, I think the only thing that people got wrong was like the degree to which she was like, you know, old kind of creepy business lady. Separating chapter 3 and 4. You get to chapter 4 and it's like, oh wait, that was just accurate. that was just correct. Let's start from the dark purple and work our way down. Hi, thanks for lurking as always. Chapter 4 just completely accurate. Kind of a lady. Well, also a reindeer. A reindeer lady. Again, I love how like effective her music is at just being like, oh no, this is a scary person. No wonder Noelle is kind of freaked out about her. But which makes it all the weirder that Asgore is like, oh, she's lovely. It's like, that's not what we just saw, dude. What are you talking about? Other than she let you in to eat her snacks. Oh yeah, I don't know why there's even a debate about who was Chris calling in the holiday. Like, it was Carol. It was Carol. I don't think it was that shocking a secret. What the good? Yay! That's the goal. What the fuck is that? He's just a little guy. Oh, Chris. I'm sorry. Does my Britishness scare you? Yeah, that makes me think, okay, they weren't just talking to Carol. I think there was another person in the call. Maybe it was the knight. Maybe it was somebody else. We don't know. But at the very least, Carol was in the call. British. That's just how British people are, you know. Ah, what the heck was going on? This is what happens if you don't take care of your teeth. Yeah, I always thought that definitely Carol's in the call. I don't understand the idea that, well, what, it wasn't Carol, it was actually somebody else. I'm like, no. I think it's just very clearly supposed to be Carol in all iterations of what's going on, including the weird route. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking things at face value or something. Because at this point, I just don't understand any knight candidates that aren't Des. Obviously, I think there's more going on to it than just, oh, it's just us. But, like, Rudy, no. So, yeah. I guess it could cast some doubt. I'm very, especially since, yeah, Chapter 5 was supposed to come out with the others. I am very curious what we're gonna get regarding the weird root. Like, how is Carol gonna feel about the weird root? Because, like, you're okay with this? With what's going on with your daughter? I have concerns. Yeah, I'm not sure why it would be weird root exclusive, except I guess it would have to be, I don't know. I guess the assumption is that, okay, if you're playing the weird root, you've already played the normal root. Which means you already have an idea of what's going on here. So there's no point in hiding it. Uh-huh. I'm sure that wouldn't be disappointing at all. Honestly, I think there's some element to it, and that by this point, thinking about it, I think that there is a portion of Chris's soul in the night. I know some people think it's just Chris's soul, but I think a portion of it is in the night. Not the whole thing. And that will at the very least explain some things going on with it that otherwise are a little weird. Like, for example, why do Chris and the Knight mirror each other in poses and the sword mini game? Oh, I should I do my stretch break? Stuff like that. And another thing that's been bothering me is, like, okay, why is Chris's Dark World, the one we know that they make, in Chapter 3, why is that look the same as all the ones the Knight made? The will between there was the same. So I'm like, okay, that could provide an explanation for that. But the reason why I think it's just a portion of it is because the other portions are, one, in Ralsei, and two, still with Chris. That there is a portion of Chris's soul still with Chris, and that can explain, for one thing, how they're able to get around just fine without us. How they're able to make a dark fountain without us. So not entirely rule out. Well, the thing is, they definitely didn't do the Chapter 4 one. I don't see how that would be possible. And especially considering Chapter 4 one is like, here's a tall person standing in the closet. Like, that was true. Same as Chapter 2, then I think it's safest to assume that no, they didn't make the Chapter 2 one either. But we know they definitely did Chapter 3. I didn't want the dark down that much. Actually, no, I usually do this the other way. Let's do this the other way. Basically, I find it interesting that Chris's will seems to be involved with 3 people at once. One of them being the Knight, one of them being Ralsei, and one of them being themselves. So I'm like, hell, why not? Why don't they just have their soul in 3 different places at once? What is there anything stopping the idea of their soul having been split? Like, how and why, obviously, still a question. But I'm like, hell, that might be doable. Yeah, exactly. I think there's the simpler explanation is the Knight made those fountains. Especially since large part of Chapter 2 is like this world kind of feels made for Noelle, and that kind of fits a little better if, you know, Des has some involvement in that, and not just Chris. With the whole Des promised you'd take me someplace like this kind of thing. That carries more actual poignancy with Des, you know, doing it than just Chris. Yeah, I think there's some involvement of Chris there. Because I think there might be a portion of their soul in the night, but it ain't just Chris. Yeah, like as a symbolic gesture, it feels a little better that it was there was some involvement from Des there. Alright, I gotta take my break soon. Well, I can finish up this poor creature. This poor chap. He's out in the cold. If he's cold, if you're cold, he's cold. Bring him in. Bring him inside. But yeah, that's I wanted to make a video on this, but good grief, I don't know how I'm gonna have time if I'm still doing regular work and also Eldritchrune stuff. But I did want to play with the idea because my original thought was, oh, Chris's soul was this I can't talk, is with Ralsei, but obviously again there are hints of something with Chris with the night, but also they seem to operate just fine without us in the light world. And it's like, okay, how do you reconcile all those various pieces of information? And I'm like, well, it could be that their soul was split into 3. And now they're bound by like these very tenuous rules regarding that. And part of that is going to be, all right, how can we restore that back to 1? It's like, okay, we got 1 with Chris, so that's okay. And then 2, you got with the night, which means fixing what's going on with the night. If you find Des's soul, restore her to that, then okay, that's fixed. But then you have Ralsei, you know, our dear friend that we have been encouraging to be their own self this entire game. And I just see a Roxas and Sora situation there where, like, in order to get Chris back to their full self, it comes at the cost of Ralsei, and there's just an extreme unfairness to it. Because by that point he has, like, Susie is correct, he should, you know, be his own person. And he's worked to, you know, build that over the course of the game. Now it's like, uh-oh. I'm not sure about the eggs. Because we have gotten the thing that's like, they're not too important, not too unimportant. I don't think they're going to affect the ending at all. I think if there's anything the eggs are going to do, it's going to give us context. It's going to give us some exposition. That's what Big Me wants me to think. Look, if I want my opinion, I'll beat it out of me. That's how it goes. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the Eggman. Cuckoo, kachoo. Alright, I will, wait, did I do? Yes, I think I did those stretches. Yeah, Ralsei seems to be, like, very personally feeling like he can't get what he wants. Oh yeah, I think Chris is losing a hand for sure. I think all the foreshadowing is pointing towards that. I think that's going to happen. Yeah, even in the good endings, quote unquote good endings. All right, I'll be right back for one more stretch and all that. Eggman is gender fluid. Non-men are okay too. He is truly one of the guys. I don't know about Gaster, if Gaster like dislikes the Eggman or not. Like the only proof we have for that is that getting the eggs is quote unquote an issue. But I don't know how that translates to I hate that guy. I'm not sure on that yet. I honestly don't know how Gaster feels about that guy. Heck, I barely know how Eggman feels about anything except kind of like pleasantly like, oh, this is nice. Thanks for remembering me. What oddity in the email response thing? What was the oddity? Another multiply layer. Like I'm not recalling what the oddity would have been now. Okay. I'm sure Molly Stars will probably do a video on it. I know that they were trying to collect data from that. I emailed them my data. Even though, yeah, I got the usual move forward with this answer response. I didn't get a super out of the way one. I think they usually say be more specific if you use like a number but don't give a unit of measurement for it. Like you get a how long is that supposed to be reply if you just put in a number. And then I know 11 got a certain response because I guess everybody on Twitter decided, oh, 11 is the correct answer because blah, 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 and that got the response of, don't follow the crowd, be careful. So, honestly, the main thing I gathered from the most recent round of that is that there is not a specific answer, it is a personalized thing. Every copy of Deltoon is personalized. Houston, fuck you, no more ARG. Think for yourself, fool. I don't know, I'm not good at this AARG stuff either. Seems to only have gone through sheer luck. Oh, did you put in 1225? Was that your answer? I mean, the problem is, like, it does seem like a reasonable answer. Okay, I see. Maybe we were being weeded out. We didn't even know. I agree with those people. Again, it seems like a reasonable answer. Again, I had no ideas. But I'm like, okay, again, maybe this isn't a numerical value. So I put the next day at the festival. And the response was basically, so the next day then move forward with this answer. So I got the next day group. I've somehow moved forward with this answer. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we'll find out. Again, I'm kind of wondering, because this does seem Weird Root related. But I haven't played the Weird Root, so is this like only going to be relevant if you play the Weird Root? Is this like an answer you got to give in the game itself? I'm a little worried. Blessing in hindsight. Okay. I mean, I still don't know if that necessarily translates to I don't like the Eggman so much as like pick a unit of measurement, even though it's obviously referencing, the Eggman's 11 hours or 11 years. I mean, it could be Gaster subtweeting Eggman, but it reads to me more like, please pick a unit of measurement. You know. Gaster the Hedgehog. I'm just a sad creature. Yeah, there was a wide variety of responses, but didn't doesn't She Never Smiled still get moved forward with this answer, or is that a stopping point? Yeah, I feel pretty confident saying that this was talking about Noelle. It is still good answer, yes. I'm pretty sure Molly Stars will do a video on it because they were collecting data, but I am curious basically to see, like, okay, what things got moved forward with this answer, what things did not. Were there any really unusual outliers kind of thing? Like, I do want to know if, like, if you mention, like, Susie or the girl, that you get the aw response. Curious about the you're getting ahead of yourself response. What does that all mean? I really like ARGs, but I've never actually, like, participated in one in earnest. I wish I could make one of my own. Oh, thank you for following. It doesn't matter. And the response was, huh. I am very curious to know if that was true. Because it seems like, if nothing else, Gaster mostly seems to be pretty polite. Like, he seems to get along okay with the player and whatever they're doing. He's pretty open to possibilities, but at the very least, if that one is true, then it does kind of confirm that, yes, like, Gaster actually does think that he likes these characters. He thinks they're neat. If you're like, if the answer is like, who cares? He's like, well, that's rude. I like these characters. Get out of here with your boringness. Well, I was trying to introduce you to somebody wonderful. And you said, who cares? Honestly, the response that I find very interesting is, I don't know. And I think the response to that was like, so it wasn't you who made her smile? Like, okay, what does that imply? That is a little bit creepy. Purple on the bottom, I think. Good grief, my stupid pen barely picks anything up anymore. Caster's like, if you don't care, then why are you playing my game? I'm just a game developer and I want the peoples to play my game. Please play my game. So basically, an actual game developer. Here is a sad, pathetic little meow meow. Bring him inside. Alright, oh, I need to do a... to over... Wait, do I have special ones? Oh, apparently I do. Okay. I didn't realize I'd had that. Alright, I'll add those as well. Let's see. Well. Yeah. Make things a little bit freakier. Okay. Now, I wonder if I should do the overlay over that or not. Alright, we'll figure it out. Why not? Purple and orange. Yeah, I do find it interesting that, like, I think people went into that second round being like, oh, we must not have guessed the correct answer to this thing. And then it turns out, it doesn't seem like there was a correct answer. There was a personal answer. Which, fascinating. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, Ram's about done. Let's clean this up a little bit. Just a little bit. It's like, I'm just the world's most pathetic creature. Please. Okay. We have ourselves a ram. He's not doing great. But he tries. Alright, let's move on a little bit. I'm finally doing Jackenstein. Basically, I was struggling a lot being like, what am I going to do for Jackenstein? I don't know how I'm going to make him scary. And I'm like, wait, his whole thing is that he lives in the dark and nobody can see what he looks like. So fine, you're not going to see what he looks like. He's just a scary pair of eyes. In a hole. He lives in a hole. I live in a hole. I admire people who can do the Jackenstein voice, because I can't do it very well. Like, you can tell that it's a certain kind of voice, but it's not one I can do. Medieval? I don't know what that is. Do they also live in a hole? And he'll lure you in with his pumpkin. Whoa, what the heck was that pumpkin? That was scary. Just kidding, that was mine. Movie Bane. YouTube poop Ganon. Okay. Like you bring... I know it's like, you bring light to my lair, you must die. Oh, a rotten pumpkin boss. Okay. There's something special about rotting pumpkins. Like, you know, you leave your pumpkin out too long after Halloween and it starts to sag and change color and get soft and gross. Oh. It happens to all the pumpkins they left after the big pumpkin event in the park area. before they clean them up, there's just like pumpkins scattered everywhere, and there's like a little hole in them because all the animals have gotten into them by now, and it's yucky. It's a yucky little hole. I live in a hole. Must be all live in a yucky hole with a rotting pumpkin. Oh, nice. I'm glad your Jack Pumpkin survived. You're taking too long to throw me out. Because I'm too cute to be thrown out. Yes, this is Eldritchrune Jackenstein. People are asking, what about Jackenstein? And I'm like, I don't know how to do Jackenstein because I don't know how to make him scary. And then I'm finally like, wait. He spends all his time in the darkness, in a hole. So I'm just going to do that here. He's not going to come out of his hole ever. He's in the dark zone. You will be spooked in the dark. I do want to see if he shows up at the festival, because they say, I only come out on festival night, and they left him in the closet. They didn't take him to Castletown yet. So that will give him the opportunity to be at the festival. And my animatic will come true. We can have a cute scene with him. I know we haven't had any really Jackenstein merch yet. Where's our Jackenstein plush? Hell, we still need like the pens. I want the new pen set. Where's our cute little guy? From the dark zone. They're taking too long. Exactly. They're taking so long. What is inside him? Wait. Honestly, probably like the little cat guy is what's inside him. I assume if you take off his head or anything like that, if that's not what already happens. I love how now, like, Fangamer plush is just like, well, I have to dismantle this plush I got to find out the secret that's hiding in them. Ever since they started doing that. What was the one inside Spamton? Isn't it like, I don't know, a Pippus? I forget what all of them are at this point. It's probably a Peepus or whatever with Spamton, I'm gonna guess. We must open him up. Yeah, what did Rousey have? Doesn't he have the manual inside him? I kind of figured that would be what Rousey would be, but maybe I'm wrong. There's nothing inside him because it would be spoiler because it would be part of Chris's soul. Wah, 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 wah. Bah, 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 bah. They're milking him dry. No. We gotta add new costumes for him every chapter. And I guess for chapter 4 he'll just get the second sanctuary costume so you can get him in his Lyra costume. There, we finally have official paper trail merch. Just get Rousey with his Lyra costume. His greed is insatiable. Look at this scrunkly. Look at this scrinkly dinkly. His greed sickens me. I'm just kind of doing whatever with this. Frankenstein really does live in a hole. Where'd my Raspersize will go? No, oh no. Poor Rouse. Poor Rouse. Why does it feel like people like see his, breakdown in Second Sanctuary and then just assume the worst for him? What's going on with that? Like, this poor guy bearing his heart out because, like, he's, knows horrible things are going to happen to the people he cares about. And they're like, oh, he's lying, he's faking. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know, I do think he's actually being sincere at that point. He is not okay. The kids are not okay. I don't think you have to be like, oh, he's secretly just faking ass crocodile tears. Maybe I'm just bitter. I think people should be a little nicer to Rouse, because I think sad things are going to happen to him. I'll say, what's one? Oh no! Oh no, that's sad. Yeah, the game did acknowledge he was being secretive. It did not try to write that off of, oh, he's fine, nothing's wrong here. Like, clearly something is wrong. But I don't think the explanation for that is, he's evil! Hopeful Chapter 5 I'll say, guts. He gets big guts, big time. Also like how, like, Susie's perceptive on stuff changes with her healing ability throughout Chapter 4, depending on how things go, which, aww. Guts 0? Question mark? Uh-oh. I think a question mark by 0 would worry me more. I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? What are Chris's gut stats throughout the thing? I know that Susie has high guts. Oh yeah, that would be a great bit. Chris's are 1, 2, 2, and 3. Okay, so basically guts are steadily improving. Chris, which makes sense. They came into things with like a lot of courage, a lot of fear, not much courage, and they're slowly gaining courage. Which I do think is something the Dark Worlds have been a focus for Chris, is them gaining courage. Susie's are 2, 2, 3, 4, and Noelle's is 0. I wonder if that'll change in later chapters. Especially depending on the weird route. Maybe her guts are like crazy high in the weird route, but like still like 0 or 1 in the regular route. But it does make sense that Noelle's are like 0 in Chapter 2, because she is scared of everything. Do her guts change over the course of the weird route at all in Chapter 2? Or are they just kind of always at 0? That could be interesting as well. Okay, her guts don't change. Interesting. She is still afraid of things, even at the end of the chapter. Even at the weird route. Fascination. I don't know if I'll be able to finish Jackenstein today, but we'll do our best. I just had Chris defending Susie is meant to be a big moment in chapter 1. True. Maybe that is tied to Guts. That Guts is like, okay, what actions do you take for yourself? That could be neat. That could be a cool take on it. I'm gonna say, where did I put the eyes on this thing? Over here. And people have definitely wondered, like, okay, is trance tied to something? Pull that up more. Drawing glowy eyes is fun. Ooh, I live in a hole. Alright, what can I do in the time I have? Let's do a little bit on the pumpkin. What I need to do when I actually play is, like, pay attention to, like, stats more closely and, like, what people say when they eat things and stuff like that. I usually end up skipping that and then come back to it later when people actually mention it. But it might be a smart idea to pay more attention to that and, like, more frequently check, like, okay, you know, what are people's stats and all that. Because there's some hidden gems in there. Yeah, that's true. That's the only problem with items is it's like, uh-oh. Unless you just, like, you know, camp out by a save point and have a little picnic and feast on stuff for a bit and then reload. I grabbed all the teas and then they were all rotten in the next chapter. No. Yeah, I usually don't heal in the overworld. It's not with items. It's like, let's get to the next save point. Did I throw out my rotten teas, or did I just store them away? I don't remember. Oh, that is interesting. Aww. I do love that Chris is actually, like, actively, like, okay, I'm gonna make an effort to really comfort him here. Screw you, player. Oh, maybe they'll age further. I don't know if that's really how tea works, but, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm about done anyway. Thank you so much for coming. Not the rotten version. Interesting. Interesting. It is interesting. Again, I think there's something going on there between Chris and Ralsei. Yeah, it seems like it's actually interesting because Chris seems to start out being a little bit wary about Ralsei and how he looks, and then by the time we're at chapter 4, Chris has accepted that and is definitely buying more into Ralsei as his own person. Because Susie is correct on that front. Or at the very least, Chris is like, regardless of what's going on with Ralsei, I need to treat him with kindness. He gets a little, like, annoyed if the player doesn't treat him with kindness. Probably gonna stop soon here. So I won't quite be able to finish Jackenstein, but we got through most of these, which is pretty cool. You don't want any, like, weird pumpkins growing in your yard? Why not? Don't you want some weird pumpkins? Surely nothing bad will happen when you plant these pumpkin seeds. Surely. It'll be fine. It's fine. Alright, I'll finish coloring the seeds here. And then probably have to call it a day. But it's nice to finally be back doing some arts. Probably next week we'll be back to ending stuff again, unless I manage to get a lot done with the current comic, but I kind of anticipate that will still take some time. I guess we'll see. The thing is, I'm probably not going to do a comic with Jackenstein. I don't have any ideas for it. But I did, it'd be something like super short, not a full one. I need some ideas. Yeah, I will at least, at the very least, his profile will go up at some point. Again, I'm probably going to space out all of these guys so they're not all posted at once. Just give people something so they're not waiting forever for a new comic. So those, turns out those take a while. Oh, I can do the color on the vine real quick. We can do that. We can do that. That won't take but a minute. I'll have to finish the shading later. That won't take but a minute. I forgot I had this like Eurobeat version of Sans's fight. I need to see some. I want to see some more remixes of the new music we got from the anniversary. You can't rush art. Alrighty, we've made progress on Jackenstein and got through. Yeah, we got through almost everything that I had planned for today, so that's pretty cool. It's nice to be back doing art streams again in the new year. Now that I'm not super sick anymore. Still like a little bleh in the throat, but that's not horrible. I'll keep drinking my water. But yeah, again, these will all be posted sporadically throughout the next few weeks so I can spread them out a little bit and finally get some little fun doodles up. Next time, probably again more stuff with the ending. More progress on that. I think I'm like a third of the way done through the whole thing if I look at my big chart. Well, thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming to the stream and for chatting with me. It's always a good time. And also, hopefully should be able to finish a Soul of Sovereignty on Friday. Just couldn't do it because, one, my throat was still a little bleh, and two, there was like AGDQ, so I'm like, okay, we'll put this off for next week. Because Soul of Sovereignty is a lot of talking and attempts at voice acting. Success, I don't know, but attempts are made regardless. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I always appreciate you being here. Thanks for following if you're new. For the raid, that was fun. And yeah, I hope I'll see you all next time for more fun Eldritchrune stuff and more talks and all that goodness. Y'all are so cool. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Alrighty, I will see you later.